Welcome to Unicorns, a podcast series featuring people who have distinctive characteristics and/or experiences that make them truly unique, or a unicorn. We are your hosts, my good friend Alberto Lara.
Hello, and this is my friend Phil Robinet.
And we are what I consider to be unicorns. Why is that, you ask? Because we are both electrical engineers and we both perform stand-up comedy. In my opinion, those are two traits that are so diametrically opposed that they instill disbelief in people. In the upcoming episodes, we will feature guests and their stories, demonstrating how the world is filled with more unicorns than one might think. So sit back, keep your arms and legs inside, remain seated until we come to a complete full stop, and enjoy the ride.
Unicorns is not suitable for children of any age. Unicorns is intended for mature audiences and entertainment purposes only.
Welcome to Unicorns, Episode 1. Confessions of a Reprobate and a Shithouse Lawyer, written by this man of the cloth, Reverend Phil Robinet, who is a PE, professional engineer. He's also a volunteer mentor, a stand-up comedian, plus a former softball coach, and now author, working on his third book. He's a husband, father, a grandfather, and a dear friend of mine. A shithouse lawyer. Where does that expression come from?
It is a good question. So, as Al said, the title of the book is Confessions of a Reprobate and a Shithouse Lawyer. And I describe it on the back of the book. And the definition of reprobate, for those of you who don't know, and it's not a common word, morally corrupt, depraved, foreordained to damnation. As I describe in the little synopsis on the back of the book, when I was of elementary school age, pre-puberty, my dad called me a shithouse lawyer. That term originated in prison. The only place the guards couldn't eavesdrop with listening devices is in the latrine. So the self-proclaimed so-called legal expert amongst the prisoners would hold court, if you will, in the shithouse, and everybody dispensed advice and so on and so forth. So he was a shithouse lawyer. Nice. And I got into a lot of trouble. At first it was innocent. And so my dad would call me a shithouse lawyer because I was always arguing my defense to avoid punishment. Nice. When I reached puberty, my dad changed the name he called me to reprobate because the stakes became a little higher. Alcohol, girls, cars were involved. So I became a reprobate, and he called me that forever. And so this is a book about stories, true stories that happened throughout my life. Some in the shithouse lawyer phase of my life, most in the reprobate phase of my life, up and through till very recently, well into my 40s. There are reprobate stories in this book.
Man,
that's how that came about. It's an anthology. It's a series of independent stories. So what I'd like to do, first I'm going to just read a random sampling of the chapter titles. Chapter 2, The Caucasian Wetback. Chapter 4, Broke Dick Mountain. Chapter 6, Dining at the Y. That story took place when I was 15, just to add a little teaser to that chapter. Chapter 9, Fake IDs. I actually had a business in high school, doctoring IDs, doctoring driver's license. Chapter 11, Gentleman's Club is a misnomer. Chapter 15, a very humorous, not really a reprobate story, but a very humorous, You Can Call Me Reverend. I'm an ordained minister, and I've performed 4 weddings. One of the stories in the book is about the Gentleman's Club, a 4-day trip for a 2-hour meeting, and it's centered around topless bars. Going to the topless bar every single night of a 4-day trip. It's insane. Don't do it. Don't try this at home.
Hollywood couldn't write this stuff.
You can't make it up.
That's the thing. These are great stories that people can actually fantasize about. A lot of us want to experience that.
The events in this book, most of them are not admirable decisions. I could have died, and I could have killed or injured other people as reckless. So, you're and don't take this the wrong way. You're romanticizing it. When I was typing this stuff and putting it on paper, collectively, I mean, it's one thing to tell a story here and a story there over the years. Collectively, one after another, at times I was horrified. And my dad's wife, who was helping edit it and format it and self-publish it, actually asked me about after the third or fourth chapter that she proofread, I didn't know you were such an asshole. And she meant it. And I said, that doesn't even offend me because you're so right.
Yeah.
The things I did to my mom, but it was reckless, suicidal behavior. The thought process going through my mind is not adventure. Oh my God, this is like rappelling up a cliff. Oh my God, this is like climbing Mount Everest. Oh my God, this is rappelling the whitewaters of the Colorado River. That's adventurous. But I was stupid and reckless, and it was FOMO, the fear of missing out. I didn't want to say no to any question, any opportunity. Hey, Phil, do you want to fill in the blank? Fucking A.
Is that coined?
I tell people I copyrighted, I invented it, but of course that's bullshit. I got it from my dad, who's my mentor, my idol.
Yeah.
So it's prevalent throughout the book, as Al is referring to. Many of the dialogue that I write in the book has me uttering the phrase "fucking A," and throughout life I say "fucking A." I've in meetings to this day. I'm in meetings with other professionals, and there's mistakes in dollars and time on the line, and somebody will say, "Why don't we do this?" And I go, "Fucking A." And it breaks the ice, but it also says it all. So,
but it's one of my favorite things in the book because that's how you communicate with me as well. Every time I would ask you, "Hey, you want to hang out?" Fucking A.
Fucking A.
How did you get away with acting so reckless and still maintaining the competency and the reputation?
I'm lucky. Okay, number one, I think fast on my feet. I was born with guile, intelligence, and humor, and I'm affable. People tend to gravitate to my personality. They I have clients that excuse my reprobatedness. When I was younger, they would just look at me in a meeting at 8:30 in the morning and shake their head.
You had to walk and talk the talk. Well, you must do good work.
In the book, I use this example also. Yes, I produce.
Yeah.
I produce results, and I'm good at it.
Yeah.
I'm not the best, but I'm very, very good at it.
Yeah.
I've been doing it since I was 15. So I was a child prodigy. I started working for my dad in the engineering field. Yes, I'm good at it. So it's like a star athlete in college and in high school. They overlook bad behavior if everybody's winning. I was making my company and me a lot of money. So that's how I was able to get away with it. If you do your job, I never called in sick. I looked like hammered dog shit on more than one occasion. At an 8 o'clock or 8:30 meeting. And the comments were made, and I was embarrassed and laughed it off, and the shithouse lawyer in me came out. I did my job. That's the bottom line. I made my company, my dad and myself and our partners a lot of money.
Wow.
I've made more money than any other partner, and that's quantifiable. My dad was a hard ass, and is a hard ass. If I didn't produce, I was gone. But here's how well I produced,
Exactly.
okay? After I moved to El Paso and we opened the branch office, I wrecked not one, but 2 company cars. In the first 2 years of living here. And I'm convinced now, I did not come to this conclusion until I wrote the book. That's why my dad's partner left the company. He's like, okay, we've got Bill's kid. We opened a branch office to get away from his bad influence friends in Phoenix. He moves to El Paso and he wrecks 2 company cars within the span of 2 years. I'm getting out of this company.
That's hilarious.
My partner's kid is out of control. And I was out of control. But I was cranking out drawings and I was cranking out projects, and I was doing it competently as well, if not better than most. I was on time. My dad drilled integrity and honesty and dependability into me and reputation. Nobody could argue I didn't do my job. I asked my dad why, when I was compiling these stories, and I was realizing just how bad it was. I was. And I said, why did you put up with me? Why did you keep giving me chances? Chance after chance after chance.
Yeah.
He said, I've always admired guys who like to live life on the edge and survive, because that's how I am. He said, you produced. You made us, our partners, a lot of money. You were the rainmaker for a while.
Yeah, so your dad would agree with me then. Every man can relate to that. Why do we like Indiana Jones adventures?
Yeah.
Going through it, sure, that's cool. But surviving it, that's even better.
Surviving is...
And that's what makes an adventure. What was your favorite chapter to write about in the book?
My favorite chapter, and the most entertaining according to my loved ones who read the book before it was published, is Chapter 2, The Caucasian Wetback. I'm about 21 years old, driving a company car, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm dating a girl who's a pool shark and didn't drink. And she's a voracious sexual appetite. We were playing pool one night, like we do a lot of nights. She hustled some people. I go into more detail than this part of the book, but she hustled some people out of some money. I don't know how much, but let's say it's about $100. Now this is the late 70s. So at 2 in the morning, I have this brilliant, I'm drunk, she's not. I have this brilliant idea, let's go to Juarez and party and celebrate our winnings. Okay. So probably somewhere around 4 in the morning, we stagger out of a bar, I stagger out, get in my car in a little side street downtown, flip a U-turn, hit Juarez Avenue and get pulled over. One of the cops drives my car and her, and they tell me to get in the cop car with the other cop. I don't speak Spanish, they don't speak English, supposedly. She speaks Spanish. So they drive the 2 cars to an impound lot on the outskirts of town. Of course, I'm screaming and yelling about my rights the whole way. So they walk to the guardhouse of the impound lot. Apparently, they're going to impound my car and let us go on the outskirts of Juarez, not take us to jail. So they walk, it's about 100 or so feet to the guard shack of the impound lot, and they're walking over there to talk to the guard, and I go with them, yelling, demanding my rights. And she's sitting in my car in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
And the cars are parallel parked on the street.
Wow.
So they're arguing with the impound lot guy and ignoring me, and then 3 of them walk off away from the cars towards the lot. And I'm yelling, hey, don't ignore me. And then I think, wait a minute, this is my opportunity. And I turn, I walk very fast to my car, get in and take off.
That is
And they don't
crazy,
realize I'm
dude.
gone until they hear the engine start. So I've got, 100 feet or so. And she's like, what are you doing? So I get to this residential neighborhood, just flying by the seat of my pants. I have no plan.
Wow, man.
I'm in a foreign country, and I'm wasted. Beyond belief. In a company car.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And the sun's going to come up really quickly. So I can't be seen. I turn off my headlights, and I avoid braking. But when you're going at a high rate of speed in a full-on car chase in a foreign country, what could go wrong?
Ouch.
Well, I made a right turn down into a ditch below street level, crashing the car. But the fortunate part is I was below street level. So I look up in my rearview mirror, and there go the police cars speeding by. They didn't see me. If I had crashed at street level, or even slightly below, they would have seen my wrecked car. But they completely missed me, We hop out of the car, start trotting, walking, jogging our way through the residential streets of Juarez during a rabies epidemic in the El Paso, Juarez area, by the way. Dogs barking down every street. As we're walking through these streets, we could see like 2 streets away, the cop cars speeding by like 3, 4 at a time. This way, that way, north, south, east, west. We would duck down. We find a guy getting in his pickup going to work one morning as the sun is coming up. She asks him in Spanish, where's the best place to cross the river? We go down near UTEP. He drives us down there, and we cross in ankle-deep water, getting our shoes and socks wet, rolling up our pant legs.
Wow.
To the United States of America.
The vocabulary words that you use. I wrote a page, and this wasn't the only page. Where is it? Of words that I didn't know as I was reading your book, and that's another thing that it intrigued me. And I put down the paragraph number.
What are the words?
Oh my goodness! My eyesight can't see, but here are some of the words that you utilized, and I put the page number and the paragraph.
Evocation, derision, misnomer, massage, ubiquitous.
It was like an Easter egg hunt.
That's how I learned a lot of my words. I would read them several times, and I would be curious, what does this word mean? And I would look it up. But back then I would listen to hear a word, read a word, make an effort, look it up. Think about what that meant back then. Now, when you do it, you just talk in your phone. Ubiquitous. Ubiquitous means seemingly everywhere. I had to find a dictionary and look it up. I mean, dictionaries don't laying around. I had one in my office. I had one in my home. But you had to get up and go to the bookshelf and flip the pages and actually look up the word. I eventually started improving my grammar deliberately. I would read words and look them up, or hear words and look them up. I can distinctly remember peripatetic. I learned that word because I read it in sports magazines and articles. And it means well-traveled and nomadic, and they were using it to describe coaches. It's the coaching profession, our peripatetic people. And hirsute is another one.
That's awesome.
Hirsute means hairy. Well, I was reading about the hirsute, Ron Jeremy, who's the porn star from yesteryear, and that's got to mean something like large penis or something. I don't know. And it just meant hairy. And if anybody's seen Ron Jeremy, I have not. I've only heard. He's hirsute. I love being unique. I love vocabulary. But people have asked me, why do you use these words? And they say big words. I said, they're not big words. They're unique words, but they're words everybody's heard before. And I said, well, that's what they're... And they say, why do you use them? I said, well, that's what they're for. That's why they made them. To be used in these circumstances.
Can you describe the process to publishing the book?
It's a self-published book. All of my dad's books are self-published, and I decided I really liked the idea of this book, Confessions of a Reprobate and a Shithouse Lawyer. So I said, no, this is going big. This is going New York Times, baby.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through a publisher. But it's a 3 to 5 year process. You have to get a literary agent.
Oh my goodness.
Publishers will not talk to an author. And then you have to convince the publisher and the agent that your book will sell. But how can you convince them if you haven't done it yet?
It's like show business.
Yeah, there you go. So after a while, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to self-publish it." And when I told my dad that, he goes, "I knew that's what the conclusion you would come to, but you had to figure it out for yourself." Of course, it was more painless than what he went through because of technology.
Yeah, exactly.
And I didn't spend a dime publishing this book.
Explain the process of publishing the book.
I go to Amazon, KDP Publishing, KindleDirectPublishing.com, and I set up an account, and I format it to their specifications, and I pick the size and the cover, and I design the cover, and then I send it to them, and then they say, 48 hours later, they say, you're live. They send you an email for no money out of my pocket, and they print them as they're ordered. And you So if you order one book, they print it and deliver it 48 hours later.
It's amazing technology.
Yeah, amazing technology. So that's what it takes to self-publish. It's very tedious getting the margins correct and the cover and the spine, how it reads on the spine of the book. It's very tedious. And there's a couple of formatting mistakes, one formatting mistake in the book.
I noted one of those mistakes on inside the book.
Any listener who can find the mistake gets a free autographed copy of the book.
I already got mine too.
I've got depictions of 6 of the chapters, 3 in the front and 3 in the back. And they're in the format of Polaroids, but it's an artist's drawing.
Why not real photographs?
There's copyright, things I had to worry about, and I couldn't quite capture it. It was okay, but it was not great. And then I found out about this artist in Lucia Park. And what I did was, I said, read the chapter, and then send me a picture. He nailed it every single time, just by reading the chapter.
You like his work?
Love his work.
Would you recommend him?
Yeah, Carlton Rich, 2 Bits Tattoo in Lucia Park. He's noted on the inside cover. He's credited, and he's a very, very talented. Did it fast. I just enjoyed working with him.
What does your father think? What is your father?
My dad is the biggest influence in my writing style, so he obviously likes it. My dad started writing more like me now. I've read his last couple of chapters.
Has he told you that you're better than him now?
Oh yeah, he tells me all the time. But he tells me in a sarcastic.
What does he say?
He's like, well, we'll be talking about the book, and I'll disagree with him about something. He says, just because you're fucking better than me, you fucking asshole. This is how he talks to me. You think you're goddamn hot shit. How many fucking books have you written again? I forgot. Oh, that's right, about half as many as me. Now, what were you saying? Oh, never mind.
So how do you find time to actually write all these things and still conduct your business competently and still be likable? Where do you find time?
I don't know. I don't know where I find the time. I mean, I own an engineering business. I design electrical systems for high-rise buildings, and I have no employees, so I do everything, including invoicing and letters.
That's incredible, man.
Proposals, and then I write, and I do stand-up comedy occasionally, not as much as I used to. I don't know where I find the time. I just do.
It's very admirable.
Some advice from John Grisham. I watch book TV a lot on C-SPAN 2, and these authors talk about their books. But he said, here's one way to look at it. If you write 1 page a day, at the end of a year, you've got a book. I talked to a comedian who ran a workshop in California. I was attending this workshop, and he gave me some good advice, and he said, write for 1 hour a day, write jokes, even if you stare at a blank computer screen or a blank piece of paper.
Oh, that's so cool.
Just sit down and do 1 hour a day. Now, I'm not going to say I did that, but I did it a lot.
That was your goal, right?
And the same with the writing. I don't write 1 page a day, but I will go to lunch and write 2 paragraphs, or I'll go for happy hour by myself and write 3 paragraphs, and then sometimes I get on a roll and write 5 pages. So I try to take a stab at it.
Any time you can.
Yeah, and it kind of flows.
Wow,
It just kind of gets done.
That's inspiring, man.
It just kind of gets done.
How do you hide somebody's identity?
In the book, I don't use any names except my dad's name, because he was my boss throughout my whole adult life until he retired. Everybody else I describe generically because I didn't want to use real names, and I didn't want to change the names to protect the innocent. So you'll see the word architect, and they're all capitalized, they're proper pronouns. It'll say architect, or it'll say best friend, or it'll say girlfriend, or it'll say wife. And it makes it easy to keep track of, because if I change, best friend's name from John to Jack, throughout the story you'd be wondering, well, who is this Jack guy again? So it's generic, but it immediately identifies the role the characters play. And the people in the story will know who they are. Those stories are only about half of the shit I did. I can't change the names enough to protect the innocent. So I just ran out of stories.
So what made you stop?
Well, I think meeting and marrying the right woman helped. As my kids got older, I had to, look them in the eye, and they were aware of, things I was doing and the ramifications of such. Part of it is just age of maturity and wisdom that comes with age and maturity.
Why do you want to change?
Well, because I don't want to do something that would embarrass me or my family anymore. I don't want to inadvertently hurt people. I don't want to act like an idiot. I don't want to be a reprobate. I want to do the right thing. A lot of the stuff in the book is not the right thing.
Why write it?
Because it was fun. It was a vanity project, and I thought it would be interesting to the casual reader. Little did I know it would be cathartic and self-reflective and sobering. But it was.
And that's the most precious gift of all.
Well said. I agree.
That's why, to me, it's rejoiceful.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Most people don't get the chance to make it back.
No, you're right. The amount of good fortune I've had is astronomical. I can't tell you. I think families. My dad explained this to me one time, and I thought about it and studied, observed different people and families anecdotally, and I tend to believe it. With my escapades, my dad had some reprobate moments also. I said, "How do we get spared?" And he said, "Well, for some reason," he said, "I think people or families are cursed, like the Kennedys. Every time they turn around, there's a family tragedy, and then other families escape it, like us. If you believe in karma, this is my theory. The Kennedys had bad karma because Joe Kennedy, the patriarch, was a bad dude. He was a gangster, bootlegger and a rum runner, and he had people killed. He made a deal with the devil, and I think he paid the price. Okay, and I think my great-great-grandfather, Jules Robinet, who is an historic, beloved, iconic figure in Windsor, Ontario, across from Detroit, was just the opposite. He created jobs. He had good karma. He was benevolent to people, and I think it bought his generations to come good karma.
What made you want to change?
It's the last chapter of the book because the last chapter involves an event where I broke up with my girlfriend I had when I was divorced. I broke up with her, and I met Sharon 3 months later, and that's when it turned around. I met the woman I love. We've been together 20 years. In a very subtle way, she showed me what I could be. Just a mere suggestion of hers. Not browbeating, not berating, not repeating it, not reminding. And I went back to college for 4.5 years. I got a degree in electrical engineering in my 40s because of a mere suggestion of hers. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what did it. She did it. And she didn't set out to do it, and I wasn't looking for it. And just sometimes it falls in your lap, and if you're smart enough to recognize it and take advantage of it and change your ways. I still have fun, still live life on the edge to a certain extent. A couple of these chapters happened after I met her. And there's a couple that happened, there's one that happened last year that we're not going to talk about, that I grimace every time I think about it, like I did just now. But for the most part, she's, my wife Sharon, is saw that made me see that I should not be a reprobate anymore. You can't make somebody do what I did after I met her. She brought it out in me. I had to want to do it. Here's the things I've done since I met her, if I may.
Sure.
I went to college, and while owning my own engineering business, I went to college for 4.5 years, which is where I met Al. That's another unicorn feature we have. We're electrical engineers who do comedy. So I went to college part-time, ran my business, Coached my daughter's softball team. Was a Big Brother, if you're familiar with the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. I was Big Brother for 7 years. Became Big Brother of the Year for the state of Texas in 2012. City proclamation, May 22nd
That's so
is
beautiful.
El Paso, Phil Robinet Day in El Paso.
Man, that's beautiful.
I'm now working on my third book. I started doing and have done for 13 years stand-up comedy and been fairly proficient at it at a local level, but I've appeared on stage probably 300 or 400 times.
Yeah.
I appeared at the Comic Strip 34 times, which is our professional comedy club. All of that since I met my wife Sharon in 1999.
Yeah, she's an amazing woman.
So you can't make somebody do that. You can't say, hey, it's time to get off your ass. I don't know how she does it. She doesn't know how she does it. I give her all the credit. I tell her, this is what you've done. You ought to bottle it, sell it like snake oil.
But you still have to, it's not easy to gain that discipline, especially electrical engineering.
I had to hypnotize myself. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
There's a lot of shit going on
man.
up here, man. I was a bad person for a while. When I say that, Sharon shakes, oh, stop that. She shakes her head. No. Like my dad's wife said, I didn't know you were such an asshole.
I always feel that wisdom shared unites us all. So what can you share with others that might be yearning in that direction, wanting to find what really matters in life?
Oh, every person has dignity and deserves respect. So no job is too small. No job is unimportant. No job is demeaning. No job is something to be ashamed of or shy about. It's about working. It's about creating. It's about earning an honest living. And somebody has to clean the toilets. And God bless them. I respect them more than I respect the rocket scientists, if you know the truth. Unicorns is brought to you by Opulent Works, created by Phil Robinet, executive producer Alberto Lara.